folks. It's Hobby Talk with PSA Canada for July 13th, 2023. So, did we miss anything? We were here last week, right? Y'all were here last week when we did the show, right? Or the week before? No. We wanted to actually come on and do a show where we actually did talk about it, because I mentioned to Brad, I was like, no, people are literally pinging me, asking me, hey, is the show still on? Are you still doing the show? And I'm like, and I literally said nothing, because I'm like, well, it's not really my place to answer that question. I'm not going to answer it right now. I knew, we discussed it and said, like, no, we should at least have a conversation about it and talk about it. So, two things you need to know. First thing is that there will be at least one more show like this, and we'll explain why here in a second. But the second one is that there was discussions prior to the last couple of episodes that aired where we knew there might be a possibility for a bit of a gap or a sabbatical or something. But we'll give you a little bit of a rundown to the best of our ability why. And then Brad will fill you in as much as possible, as much as we can. But before we do, Kevin, if you're good, you just give me a thumbs up or something and I can bring you on. Perfect. All right.
What up?
Kevin, how's it going, Kevin?
I am currently cleaning my house because I just got Nash to sleep, but I had to be here.
There you go.
I figured, Carlos, we'd jump in so we can talk now that we got Kevin, because we might not have him for that long. Obviously, Kev, stay the whole time if you want, but I know you got a lot on the go tonight.
Yeah.
You have a mystery package, Carlos.
That's right, yes. So let me quickly do that bit rundown, and then we'll get straight into the mystery package
perfect.
thing. So format-wise, I want to make sure we get that done, and then we'll get into the rest of it, and we'll go from there. So real quick, I just want to see. So good evening, everybody. All right, so 1 second here. I'm just going to do something here. And a little piece of business. Anyway, so we had chatted before the last episode because we knew there might be a possibility to be a little bit of a sabbatical, because there is, and I'm being intentionally vague because unfortunately it's not something we can go into super detail on, so I'll leave Brad to fill in as much as he can. We knew that going forward, we were going to have to figure out what this show was going to look like. We were getting some feedback and everything, and basically we're at the point that we kind of have a plan A and a plan B. So here's what I can tell you. I can tell you there's going to be another episode guaranteed. When that's going to happen, we don't know yet, but it's going to be to basically let you know whether it's plan A or plan B and what that's going to look like. So there will be another show for sure, and if you're following along the social medias, that's the best way to know when it arrives. And the second thing I can tell you is that there is going to be a show, whether it is structured like this or whether it's structured in a little bit of a different way. That's the part that is the plan A and plan B. But there is another domino that has to drop, and nobody on this screen, except maybe Luke with his ultimate authority, has the power of that domino. The thing is, the domino has to fall, and then based on the answer to that question, then we go plan A or plan B. So that's really the high level of it. Brad, do you want to kind of add anything to that?
Yeah, no, sorry, just caught me off. I'm watching Kevin, and his head's going from big to small.
There's a lot going on over there, man. Look, Kevin's trying to figure out if there's a plan C. He's trying to figure out if there's a cheese string him on. He's trying to figure out what's going on. There's a lot of things happening right now. Are you all right, Kevin? Do you need help?
My life's a blur, guys. Come on now. I get like 12 minutes to clean the house in a day. So this is it.
Yeah, there you go. So anyway, the bottom line is that when that domino falls, and if you read between the lines, you can probably figure it out on your own. Use your imagination, you'll figure it out. But the answer to that question is going to then lead us into what happens after that. So in the meantime, it doesn't make sense for us to then make shows when we're kind of sitting here trying to figure out what's going on. So that's really what it comes down to.
Absolutely. And I think that's kind of, we've developed this show into having some great guys in the chat. You know, we keep on moving up. We get more subscribers. We have a great time with it. We have fun. We first did it when I talked to Carlos to introduce myself, Luke, and Kevin, kind of two people, like put a name to the face. You know, you guys see us at shows, and if you don't, you mail stuff to all of us at different times. So it's worked out very well. Carlos, you taking the lead on the show. I think we'd have a lot of dead time. I think me and Luke sometimes could just have a stare down maybe, and there wouldn't be too much conversation, but it's worked really well. So between what we, as PSA grows in this country and does different things, some stuff will be more structured, I think, through the collector's land, through the collector's parent company. And but we're still going to be doing what we all do here. Kevin, Luke, myself, Carlos, and we've also seen how this show has moved a little bit. I don't want to say off just initially it was just PSA, but it's kind of branched into things to do with AMG collectibles, things to do with talk personal, to have some fun, to do a lot of stuff in the Maritimes. We talk and promote the local card shows here in Edmonton. And so there's lots of different things. So Carlos put together a nice plan, that plan A, plan B, maybe there is even a plan C. We don't know for sure, but we're going to be doing something together. And over the course of the next 3-4 weeks, we're going to figure that out when other things get announced, and we keep on moving forward, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. So really, the break really comes down to us. We were kind of hoping the announcement that he's referring to would have already happened. Then it would have been easier to go, by the way, guys, this is what we're going to do. It was expected that by now, by July, at this point, we would already be like, hey, here's what's going on, and this is what's going to happen going forward. And when that didn't, and that days came and went, it's like, all right, so what are we going to do? There's only so much dead air. Like, we could have a show where Lucas just staring at the audience for 45 minutes. That'd be great. I would enjoy it. But that's the problem, is that until we have that definitive response and the announcement that we're waiting. Well, Luke, that's what the people want. That's what the people are waiting on. But until we had that definitive response, then we were kind of stuck. We were stuck in limbo. It's one of those things like, ready to go. Say the word. And that's what we were waiting on. So we're still in that spot. And until we get that next answer, then we'll be like, okay, good. Now we're ready to go. And we have alternate plans that we can use depending on what the answer is. All right, real quick, I'll read a couple of comments just to get caught up here. Hi Cowboy says, PSA should offer official card cleaning kits like Kurt's Card Care. Would be great for the armchair graders accepting 10s and still getting 7s. Or maybe just blur the glasses a little bit. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Good evening, Dave. Was actually here last week. I know, Dave was here anticipating the show. And me too. James here, good evening. Absolutely. Eric says, this better be good. It's always good, Eric. We were going to reveal that it was going to be PSA branded jars of mayonnaise. Those of you who know the Friday show, you know. Eric would appreciate that. Good evening, Jeff. Green Cardboard. Evening Trouble will be shaking Brad's hand in 8 or 9 days. Very nice. If you're going to National, that sounds good. Sounds good. David says, sounds like Plan A is going to be produced by the new Fanatics events company. Dare we live such a dream? On the Friday show, maybe. Maybe that'll be my announcement for the Friday show. I'm working on it. All right. 902 Vintage, PSA Canada, sports card hype. Grading is crucial. Don't let it slide. There's a lot of it there. He's got a lot of rhymes. He's got bars. Canada Blue, he needs a maid. Didn't fit into it. Oh, so that's just the same. Let's scroll through. Question for Brad. Will you be partying with Justin Gamble? He should.
You know what? Yeah, I talked to him at the Mint Collective briefly, but I am a fan of their content. Again, we've talked about that, Carlos. I think Kevin and Luke, you guys watched him too. But yeah, he's an interesting character, and his group is definitely a lot of fun. I feel like Sherry could have a very good evening with that crew right there.
Hey, look, Brad, we all want to see you at the club at 3 a.m. when they're eating like oysters and drinking way too much. That right there, that's excitement. I can see it.
I got a replacement.
Good evening, Jeff. Brad just signed a deal with another major grain company. The new name of the show will be KSA Canada with a K. I like it. Show has no fluff. Thank you, Bobby. Good evening, Name. Kevin looks sexy as ever, per Jeff Jones. There you go, Kevin. You got a fan.
I already know that, Jeff. I already know that. Thank you.
Wow. Just so much humility in the time off. Like, he's developed so much humility. Like, Brad, I don't allow such things. Like, we're all about the humbleness. Like, yeah. What the heck? All right, so let me get into this. So, Brad, you want to give me some background here? I have a package here. Brad told me to expect something. I got it, and now I've been sitting on it for a while, and we're gonna open up a today's show. So, I have an envelope here that was sent to me that has been sitting on a table.
Absolutely. So it's sent from I'll just give you a little background on it.
Sure.
I don't think he comments a lot in the comment section, but he watches all the shows. He watches Friday night shows with Carlos and from New Brunswick. I won't mention his name. He didn't say. I'm not sure if we should. We'll just leave his name out just in case. Yep. But he's a submitter through PSA Canada. Always submits some cool stuff. I've showed a few of his cards different times, and he goes, I have something that is so cool, and make sure that you have, especially Kevin on the show when this gets open. And he wants Carlos to add this to his personal collection. And it's I thought it was super cool.
All right. So I have opened the envelope. It is there. I'm going to grab this. So I flipped it so that the address and everything's on the other side. So now the envelope is going to go the way of Flying Fish Boy.
I don't think I told anybody about this. It's great. I think it's awesome. Right, some people will be let down, but not us.
All right. So I do have a note here. I'm not going to read it. I'm going to leave that be. I'll read it after. So, but thank you very much for the note. Always appreciate that. So we got so this is what we got inside. very nicely taped up and everything. So we're gonna see what we got going on here.
It's not Mike Modano. It's not AEW.
Okay. So
But
let's
it's going to
see
fit
now.
in your collection very, very good.
All right. Well, we got a lot of tape here. We're using the painter's tape properly here, so we're gonna figure this thing out. Let's see what we got going on here. Trying to open.
Those
it
are
on
packages
camera.
I dread.
Oh, yeah.
Well, at least it's done correctly, so I'll give him that. That's very well done. It's okay. So I'm trying.
I
to
don't mind the
see-
painter. I like the painter's tape as long as the painter's tape has end. I don't like when it's when it's clear packing tape. That's they get me.
Oh yeah,
So
or electrical tape.
Yeah.
electrical tape, yeah. I've actually seen folks try the electrical tape, and it's an interesting strategy. All right, so we got that opened, and now I should be able to take the card out. I think. Let's see if I can get that. Okay. Let's see. Let me grab that last bit there. Bear with me a second. Yeah, that's how I know it's actually been done really well. It literally is stuck based on that last piece of tape. Okay, there we go. Now we're there. Oh, very nice. I can see the back of the card there. I can see the back of the card there. Seems thematically appropriate. Cheese string. There you go. Kevin, just because you failed me, it's like I was waiting for you. I'm still waiting for the cheese string I'm on, and at least somebody was able to hook me up with the cheese string properly.
I didn't even know
this
it
is Wally
existed.
Weightlifter. Wally
Didn't even
Weightlifter.
know it existed.
The OG cheese string I'm on. Before he took over in Pokemon, he was working out.
Absolutely.
Very nicely done. Very nicely done. So
So
where the
did-
hell is this from?
So it's actually from the cheese strings. You got cards back in the early '90s, and we always talk about the cheese string them on. And anyways, this a friend, I guess we could say, and viewer
Yeah.
said, "I have the actual cheese string them on card," and he was so, I thought it was so cool. Coast, did you know there was actually a card?
No.
Okay, good. That makes it even better because neither did I. And I said, I talked to Kevin. I said, Kevin, do you know that it was actually inserted in the cheese strings packs and it's cheese string-em-on?
Yep. So scrolling through Hockey Barn Collectibles. Good evening. Bated breath, I know. Absolutely. It's a bomb. It's a bomb.com, Eric. Go ahead, ask the kids. They'll know what I'm talking about. Legend exists. It does. And it's actually one of one, maybe. Question for Luke. Better investment 3 months. Cole Caulfield or Mickey Mouse?
Mickey Mouse.
Wow. But thank you very much. I appreciate it. So the first of what should be a few cheese string amounts, Kevin.
You'll
Just
get
saying.
mine when they come out with one.
Listen, man, get on Brad's Learjet, fly off to Japan, and get the first one off the assembly line. Get her done.
I
No
should.
more of these excuses.
Probably should, eh?
That's what I'm saying. So
I
there you
had to send a person to Japan last week. Ask Brad about it.
go.
Yes.
Yes. Now, I think since the last time we spoke, Brad already on the Friday show revealed the whole bit with the Magic the Gathering 1-of-1 cards. So we've got the story back there. I'll link to that. I'll link to the excerpt where I took that video. Since then, it was also picked up from some other folks, including the Slabbed podcast. So they're gentlemen who hang out on the Discord we're on. So Professor Oak and a few of those guys, and they enjoyed that story. And then we also had Dustin, Sports Card Dad, picked up on that one. He did credit it, so I'll give him that. I was going to give him a hard time if he didn't credit it properly. I was going to
He did.
I will deal with you, sir. But no, he gave it correct. He linked it correctly, so that's good. So obviously after your thing with Infamy, and part of the reason I said to Brad, I said, well, Brad, we got to come back because otherwise everyone's just going to assume you ran away with the 2 million euros. After the 1-of-1 Magic card. It's like, where's Brad? He's off jet setting. He's off highfalutin lifestyle. He's living like Luke for just a week. Crazy. It's crazy.
I know it was that was quite the wild adventure, and I was very fortunate and happy to be part of it. Let me say that.
There you go. Now let's talk about this. Since like I said, today we're going to hang out for a little bit. Like I said, it's going to be the last episode for a while. The next episode, we don't know when it's going to come. So if you didn't catch the beginning of it, I gave the quick basic rundown explanation is that we knew going in the last couple of episodes that we were waiting on an announcement. Again, we're staying being intentionally vague because it's not our announcement to give. That will then determine what the future of this program or similar program is going to look like. There's a couple of different options on the table. We've had the chance to hash some of that out, but it's not on us. We're waiting for that next shoe to drop because depending on what happens there, then that'll tell us, that's going to inform what it's going to look like going forward. We'd like to come back and do something. What that's going to look like, I don't know. We know there will be something. It's just we need someone else to say, "Hey guys, green light, go ahead." That's basically what we're waiting on. So that's the reason why it'll be indefinite. But we will come back whenever that do have that clearance, and then we'll be able to tell you exactly what it is, tell you exactly where it is and where to find it and all that good stuff, and it'll be there. I do recommend following the PSA Canada Instagram because that'll be a good way of knowing, hey, by the way, there's an episode coming up. The guys are going to explain everything. Here it is, and you can follow along with it. So that's my recommendation. But otherwise, it is still the PSA Canada shows since we're going to do one. A lot of stuff came in, Brad, from the expo. What's the status? What's going on?
Yeah. So I got everything out to Kevin that we have in house. Everything now from, I guess I can go through the shows. Luke, everything that we received back from PSA, Luke currently has now that he has in Edmonton that he's shipping out. That includes Langley, Bosa, Regina, Winnipeg, Lloydminster, Edmonton. I don't think I'm forgetting anything else.
Except vintage.
Yeah. Oh, no, absolutely. There's still some orders that aren't back yet, but they're coming. But everything that we have received is all there. We worked hard this week to get anyone that had a large order that came back that, consists of 20 cards or above. We got all those out. Now here I probably have, if you look at the spreadsheet, you'll see there's probably 40 orders that are 40 or 50 orders that are listed in the shipping department that you'll see those move over the weekend, and we'll get those invoiced out. They just simply take a lot of time. You can only do so many invoices in a day, and this happens the same as last year and the year before when we start getting all these orders back. If we mark them that they're in Halifax right now, then people start to email us and ask the questions, where's my cards? Where's my invoice? Do I have a wrong email? Understandably so. They're not doing anything wrong. I do the same thing. So we're just periodically, once the order, we're ready to invoice it, we're going to mark it as in Halifax. We're going to get the invoices out that day. So that avoids that for us on our end. But yeah, a lot of cards. We updated the spreadsheet. I'll update that again on Monday. Things are cooking along. I will let everyone know that there is a little bit of a lag right now. PSA received for the June special that they did. They received a lot of cards. I won't get into any specifics. I guess that will be up to them, but it was a huge success and the cards piled in. So if you look, I'm going to say they're 2 to 3 weeks right now from getting cards into the system. So that does add a little bit of time. It goes back to when we say 120 days turnaround, and some people say, oh, it's only 65 business days. Well, we allow for things like this that are beyond our control. So everything's still working in there. The last few orders that are right pushing the 120 days are hitting the shipping department now. So we'll have those back from that front. And we'll just keep on pumping orders out and getting everyone's cards back safe and secure.
Sounds good. Hockey 99 always has his comments in here. PSA Canada always teases something. It's part of our charm. Does this mean you're banned from making weekly content until last announcement? We're basically banned until Luke says so.
Yeah,
Bobby
definitely
Burrell
not
said,
the case.
No, it's like 100%. It's like Luke said, I'm not feeling it today. Well, then that's it. We can't do it. Bobby says, red light, green light, Squid Game. There you go, Bobby. Staggy Joel, good evening. Says, how long would it take my submission to get from Q2 that's been there since July the 1st to get into the shipping department, do you think?
So honestly, I can answer. We've had orders, and Kevin, Luke, you guys, we all can look. Anyone that's submitted on their own direct to PSA, there's times that it could be there for 30 days. We've had orders be in Q2 for 45 to 60 days. That's very rare, but it does happen. So I can't really answer that. I want to give you the answer and say, it's probably going to move in a couple weeks, but it's beyond our control. So I don't want to go out and just say something that I can't control.
Separate from that, when's the next spreadsheet update? So the current one lists July 11th-ish, basically. You had a couple of things that were going on there. So when do you expect the next update to come in?
I'll have it done by Monday night. So it takes me about 4 hours to do it. And if PSA's website works well, I mean, it's very simple. You just cut and paste the order number. But sometimes, as we all know, especially over the last 3 or 4 months, there's times that you can put a number in on PSA's site and you just get the hourglass. It just spins, and it comes up air and it shuts down. So when all of a sudden I start to update that, if I start to get into that sequence, there's no sense in me trying to do it. So I just wait a little while and come back in.
All right. Sounds good. Collector's Catch, good evening. Bobby Burrell says, when are the Squid Game cards coming out? Bobby, there is now hope for us all. Now we know there is hope for us all. Because this is an unknown grail we didn't even know existed. See, now the important question is, Brad, is like, there's no copyright date as far as I can tell. So now the question is, would PSA grade the OG Cheese Strigabon? That's the question.
It might happen. We'll have to dig into that.
Yeah, it's like, these are questions we got to know. So we got to, I don't know, that's going to be interesting. So this is like a sticker. It's peeling instructions. So it's actually a sticker. I don't know. Crazy. All right, so Hockey 99 is Brad. You should hire a data entry clerk. Hockey 99 is playing.
Yeah.
Let's punch in the numbers. Come by the office. Bring your resume.
There you go. Absolutely. Anytime. But honestly, it's all these things. Like, I mean, Kevin runs his operation. Luke runs his operation out there. We're doing it here. Every time we try to do something, it adds an expense. Whenever we add an expense, somehow that's going to come out of the piece of the pie. So if we want to keep the prices down, then our main thing is when the cards come back, we get them out as quick as we possibly can, which we do. All these other little perks are bonuses and stuff that we want to continue to do, but they take time, which costs money. So to hire more people, again, costs more money. If everyone wants to add $1 to every card, maybe we can make all this happen.
Seems good. Sounds fair. Now let's kind of shift gear a little bit. And if you got more questions, feel free to throw them in. Let me ask this. Now that we're coming up on national, we're getting close. Now we're starting to get into announcement season. We're getting into the different, you got the third-party graders, you got the manufacturers are going to be giving their announcements for what they're planning for the card show and everything. Anything you're expecting that, are you expecting anybody to do anything kind of out of line? Anything you think would be surprising? This is more of a prediction thing. Because obviously we got the normal stuff. You're going to have the ones that are doing the on-site grading are announcing their pricing. CGC came out and did theirs. PSA has come out and done theirs. I expect to hear something from SGC and or Beckett at some point in the next little bit. So we'll definitely hear, if not this week, then next week, whatever as we get closer to it. Basically, whenever Eric gets around to making the video. So that's what we're waiting on, for Beckett. So I expect those announcements. That's what I mean. But I mean, aside from the obvious, is there anything that you would anticipate? Anything that you're hoping maybe somebody would announce coming here at the National? Because if you're going to announce something, it's an opportunity, right?
Yeah, I kind of look at it from my personal opinion on it. I can't see PSA making any more announcements after the influx of cards they got in June with the amount of cards that are going to come through with them moving graders and the whole national operation. That's like a 2-week span in July. Well, I almost feel like there's going to be not too much come out of the PSA pipeline probably until September. Time they get everything back. August, obviously, in July as well. Kevin, I keep getting distracted. Sorry, catches me off guard.
Come on, turn your ADHD off. I'm not that distracting.
It is. I'm like, is he vacuuming right now?
Well, he was muted, so the background sound I think is Luke.
I know. I was.
You should put a GoPro on it. Then that would totally distract Brad. If you put the GoPro and you could see the floor moving, that'd be amazing.
You know what? It's so hard, and you get good. I watched you, Carlos, on this, and we talked about it many times. The comment section, when you're on here and you're live, it's amazing how easy it is to get distracted. The comment section I used to turn off, because if you see a comment that someone asks a question and all of a sudden it rattles you for a second and you're trying to talk, then you focus on the comment, or if you have your phone on, all these different things, it can distract you, and instantly you just start babbling. And Carlos, I watched you one night on the show. You had a conversation with me while you were texting, while you were on your computer doing 3 things at once. I'm like,
yeah,
that's not me, boys. I get distracted very easily.
You got to learn how to pilot the spaceship, Brad. It's all about piloting the spaceship. Like, look, I've been actively ignoring Hockey 99's question because I know he wants an answer, so I'm ignoring it. I'll get to it eventually. But now I'm doing it just for my amusement. So, Brad, I'm doing the opposite. I see the comment, and I'm literally skipping past it. James eats gravel. Bobby says it sounds like a hotel kitchen. Like, see, Doug says good evening, Doug.
Hey,
see,
Doug.
we got to cover all the important comments. There's important questions. Yeah. So Canada Blue says, Hockey Good Night. I pay $1 or $2 to get the cards back quicker. Well, I think the person that we're talking about wouldn't be getting the cards back quicker. It would be them updating the spreadsheet, because the
Yeah.
clerk, the data entry clerk, would just be updating. It's still going to come back at the same time it's going to come back. It doesn't actually control the PSA side of the equation. So you can pay $10 more. It's not going to change anything.
Absolutely. And we are definitely very good. Cards come back after they clear through customs. We pick them up, we get them back here, we get them organized. I mean, we get stuff out really once it comes back in 24 to 48 hours under normal circumstances. But we're changing the spreadsheet a little bit. Like we're going to have a section for Luke, so it won't say in Halifax because I still got to ship it to Luke, which adds 3 or 4 days to the whole process. Mm-hmm. Kevin has his own section, his own tab on PSA Canada now. So if you submit it through Kevin, you click on the KD collectibles, and that way Kevin can control that one. So he can update it when he actually has the cards back physically in his hand instead of just showing when we have them here in Halifax.
Yep.
I'll probably be slower than you.
Well, it's hard. It's a lot of work. Like I mean, you gotta, when you get cards back, you have to sort through the order. You have to invoice. It simply takes time when you're dealing with volume. So
there you go. See, Hoggout is going to miss you, Kevin. He wants a GoPro. Maybe we just do YouTube Shorts and it's just Kevin vacuuming his house. I think that'd be exciting. I'd enjoy it. But yeah, I think what's funny is in the same vein, because I've got an order out with you as well, and it's one of those things where I want I want basically the update as well in the same vein, but I also know how this works because I've done it enough times. Your pinch point right now, separate from what Brad said, I've actually chatted with some other folks who have a little bit of on the PSA side, and that the June thing basically clogged up the works, and I think they're feeling it because if you notice, there was a July special, but it was very minor. It was very small relative to it. See? Phone calls coming in. It's crazy.
I took it off airplane mode just to text Sherry one thing, and then instantly there's a call. So if someone's in the chat that just called me, I just ignored you. I apologize.
There you go. Perfect. Yep. See? Luke, it's like they're all pinning it on you, man. You got to make decisions over there, buddy. You got to do it. Okay. Bobby here says, how Gaganaic was to listen to question because it was $1 or $2 to get the cards faster. The chat would have let up. Yes. Yeah. It's $1 or $2 to get a clerk that would update the spreadsheet, but it wouldn't actually change the reality. It does work into the discussion from the beginning of the show though, is that everything is dependent on when you actually get the cards back. That restarts the clock. So then from there, it's like, okay, well then it is on PSA Canada to get it back in your hands. Get the invoice out, get the payment in, and then boom, send it back to you. But until the cards are in, then it's outside. It's the external forces that are going to control the timing on that portion of it.
And it's in part of the dealer agreement with PSA. I actually went through that a couple months ago, which I haven't looked at since I probably don't think I ever went through the whole thing from front to back. But in the PSA's dealer agreement, you are to get the cards back out to the customers with 7 to 14 days after receiving them. That's the norm. So,
yeah, there you go. Now you guys are chatting amongst yourselves. So, again, you only have this. You basically have tonight, and then eventually, when we're able to do the next show, like I said, I'm committing that we will do another show. When I don't know, I can't tell you. So, if y'all want to bask in the warm glow of Luke's sage wisdom, now is your opportunity. Otherwise, he will ignore you until maybe forever.
I never ignore anybody.
You can ignore Hockey tonight. Just put him on voicemail. But if y'all want any of Luke's sage wisdom or some vacuuming tips from Kevin, this is your chance, people. This is your chance. At least now you know that Chief Stringamon exists, and now you can all go hunt on eBay and try to find your own.
The only advice I can give is to get a Dyson. It's just way too convenient to not have one.
Wow. If you got a Dyson, could you put a GoPro on it and send the video to Brad? That'd be great.
Absolutely.
I 100% could.
Yeah, I'm just saying. That might be the content on this channel for a while. That might be it. It might just be GoPro Dyson footage. That'd be exciting. I'd enjoy it.
So just to answer Canada Blue's question. Mm-hmm. So no, when you send it to me or Kevin or even Brad or whatever, when you send it to us, it's not like it gets shipped right away. Obviously, there's time to process and stuff. If I'm out of town, I don't go out of town for 2 weeks or a week and a half or whatever it is. Most of the time, if it's a show, it's at the show. Show's done, gone the next day, and so when we come back, it's still being processed. So we have timelines or whatever that we have to get done, and so it's still going in at the same time. So it's not like it's being delayed because we're gone or something's happened. I mean, when we go away, we usually go away just for a quick second and then come back.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note that our orders with Brad are completely different in the sense Brad just puts a label on them and sends them to us, right? So there's no holdup in that. Like typically the shows are over a weekend. Maybe the only one that gets held up is when we're at the expo because it's Wednesday to Sunday, and so that's a couple days there. But most times, Brad brings our orders to the expo. So
It's just a process. When you submit your cards, you know, and you want to go through, and it's an advantage to you to use a group submitter, then definitely use it. And if it's not an advantage and you don't find it, then definitely submit direct. Right? Like it's all part of the process. We do know that we will save you money by using our services. So.
There you go. I just like making scandalous things. I just like bringing questions in. It's fun for me. How can it end? I just don't understand why you need to wait for announcement just to go live. Use your imagination. Seriously, if you read between the lines, I don't need to explain it to you. I want you to think about why that could be. But the thing is, can't say more than that. Shrug shoulders. Again, just use your imagination. Like, honestly, long before we ever got to where Brad and I were having conversations about it. Like I said, Brad and I were having conversations about it going back to a show where we were chatting about the possibility and what the future would look like for it. So it's not that hard to figure it out. But the rules are you can't talk until you can talk. And when the time is right, and then you see things move rapidly. After basically one domino falls, then rapidly other dominoes fall right after that. It's like, well, how did you? Because you plan out everything ahead of time. But you need the first thing that then leads into the rest of the things. But you plan in the meantime. In the meantime, you still have to be planning. You don't want to be caught and then suddenly having to make decisions after the fact. You do it first. But until the first domino falls, you can't do anything. You kind of sit back. We doing it today, Luke? I don't know. Maybe later. How about today? How about now? Are we close now? That's it. I'm turning the car around. You see? You asked Luke too many questions, he's turning the car around. Just terrible. Y'all didn't know how much power Luke had in this whole proceeding. It's all about whatever he wants. He's the star of the show. The rest of us just follow suit accordingly.
Yeah, right.
Look, I was waiting for you to go. It's like you have an opportunity to come back and say anything you like. Look, do you want to? Is that can we coax you into opening the cup tin?
No. Still haven't.
Wow. Just wow. Nothing. Luke, come on, man. Give the people something. Jeez.
Probably got nothing inside there. That's why I'm trying to get it like brewing and get it in there, and then eventually I'll open it up.
Wow. I was trying to do Brad. I was trying to do this for the content. I was trying to get something, man. Like, geez, what am I working with here? Terrible.
I was hoping for the monumental McDavid, but it got pulled already now. So.
Okay.
Oh, really?
So, did that take away some of your enthusiasm for the? Did that take away some of your enthusiasm? Now you're like, the one I wanted isn't even in there. It's like, what's left over?
No, it's the cup. You never lose enthusiasm for the cup. Opening the cup.
You're so enthusiastic about it, I can't get you to open it.
It's just
I'm getting contradictory signals here, Luke. I'm getting very contradictory signals.
It's like if I had a case, which I did that one time, and we wanted to open one. Look what happened.
Yeah, I know.
It was good times. Good times. This is where Brad, I would love to just play a montage of Luke opening the cup and us just kind of sitting back and going like, wow.
Oh, yeah.
That's a really expensive 10 of the cup. Dang.
We said we're gonna open one for content, and look what happened.
I know.
Keep going.
Well, the good news, Luke, is if you open the one tin, there's no danger of you opening a second tin. You don't have a second tin.
Yeah.
I know.
So the maximum damage would be 110 here.
But the depression of it, like you have no more cups to open.
The depression makes for better content, Brad. Like, I don't know that like the emotion roller coaster in and of itself would be amazing, sensational content. Really sensational. There you go. Luke, I forget. Are you going to the National as well?
Yep.
All right. Any big plans? Anything you're looking forward to?
Nope. Absolutely nothing. Just gonna. You know what? I was talking to somebody the other day. To me, I remember that first time I went to the expo and how I felt like a kid in a candy store, seeing all these great things and like all these things I don't see at like other shows, and it was like wow and whatever. My expectations on that is going to be the same thing going to the National. Like it'll be 10 times as much because there'll be, I'm sure, stuff that I don't see at all. But I mean, it's out there in the market, you know. So that's what I'm looking forward to, is just to experience that kid life again.
Plus, you'll get to see it with me.
Exactly. And Brad and Sherry.
Yeah.
That right there sounds to me like, Brad, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I kind of want to send over the GoPro. It's like I want footage of this.
Oh,
I want
yeah.
footage. I want footage of the buddy cop happening with Kevin and Luke going around, running around the expo. Like I see nothing but entertainment that could come out of that.
Luke gets tired of me after like 20 minutes. I can see it on his face. I just don't stop talking, and he's like, "Oh my god."
I'm not
It's
gonna
like,
lie
I just
about
want to open my case of the cup, Kevin. I just want to open the case.
I love that. I'm not. I gotta go. I agree with you. Luke's going.
Even Brad will be like, "Hey Kev, quick question," and I'll just talk for 20 minutes before he says anything. I'll be like, "My bad. What do you?"
No, you're a likable guy. You love to talk.
Brad is just like, I'm reading the chat. I'm reading the chat, Kevin. I'm reading the chat. He's like, we're out of the show floor. I'm reading the chat.
It's true. You know that what I go to the National with zero expectations on purchasing, selling, etc. I go to enjoy the whole experience, and now, I mean, the more and more people that I do know, it seems to get better. It gets better every time I go, because you know more people, and you get to laugh, and you watch all the influencers, and you get to kind of judge people, because you see the true side of some people compared to what they are on the camera, which is always nice. Again, you're only making your own judgment on it. I remember that when I met Ryan, Card Collector 2, I don't know if I had different expectations, and I went up and said hello, and I told him, because my friend Carter that works with us and collects, he loved him at the time. This is like 5 years ago. And he goes, "Oh, if you see him, say hi, and maybe I can get a video of it." So he did I went up, I told him a little story. He was just standing by himself, and he did a video for Carter and sent it. And it wasn't like he was so genuine. I just think he's a genuine, great person and an asset to the hobby. And then you see some other guys that you think kind of are, and you see the other side, they don't even acknowledge you, right? They'll walk by you, head down. You don't even exist in their world, no matter what. So
Kevin gets a lot of that from Luke. It's really tragic. It's very sad. It's kind of awkward, since they basically are working together sometimes at a booth. It's a little weird.
It's
a little
true.
weird.
Sometimes I just feel like I'm talking to myself.
listen, I just don't look at you.
Luke's retainer is very clear. Do not make eye contact. Do not make
He knows if he makes eye contact, it's game over. I'll just keep going. So,
Oh,
Nope.
that's good.
Nope.
are we gonna go visit Gary Vee again, there, Brad?
Yeah, they're another example. Like, walk right up to his table, full conversation. He was selling us $20 packs of cards. Like,
To be fair, though, that was before the show actually opened for everybody, and that was the
No, it
only way
wasn't.
you could see him, because after that there was a line the whole day.
yeah, but what a great first impression when I met a guy with Gary Vee. It was awesome.
There you go. Let me kind of ask a question then. There you go. You got one of the
Yeah, I
V friends.
got it
Hey, that's
graded.
Eric's favorite. So which one is that one?
This one, a gopher, gifted gopher.
Wow.
And I just got it authentic.
I got the signed "F U Mole Monday." That's the one I got.
Wow. No, I was going to ask, so then, are any of you going to the trade night? Since you brought up Card Collector 2, visiting the trade night? All of you?
I got invited to the Don Diego TCG trading night on the Friday
Oh,
at
look
Dave and
at you.
Buster, with somebody that Brad linked me up with, Golden. So he was going, and he told me I should go. So I might check that out, but I'll probably just follow Luke around, to be honest.
Look, Kevin, look, I got to teach you the ways of the content, because look, if you guys are going to be boots on the ground, I want some of this video footage. Let's go.
I'll definitely get some. So I will go to almost all the trade nights that I possibly can, but I won't be there till 3 a.m.
Kevin, I'm counting on you. I expect things. I want some clips. I want some footage. Come on, man.
I got an iPhone now, so we got this.
That's all I'm saying. Look, the whole point of y'all having boots on the ground is, look, go get some footage so Carlos doesn't have to.
My wife
Then I can play him out of context. It'll be great.
My wife's selling point of the iPhone, because I've had an Android since 2005 was that the battery would last longer, and I've charged my iPhone twice today already, and I've had it for 4 days. So explain
Wow.
to me how much better this battery is.
Which iPhone do you have?
The 14 Pro?
Okay.
Like, I got it 4 days ago.
I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what you're doing. Like the iPhone battery, like if this is an iPhone ad. However, if Apple wants to sponsor me, I will take that check too. just throwing it out there. But, Apple's got plenty of money, Brad. Apple's got plenty of money. Like I will take a look. I'm working on an Apple machine right now, and I got the thing here. Like we can make this happen. Just saying. But what I was gonna say is that the battery life on it for me has been fine, but I haven't gotten the latest one, so I am due for an upgrade at some point. So we'll have to see. All right, I'll get has got an actual question here. Let's see, Brad. What are your thoughts of Fanatics creating their own card shows? Yes, they're gonna have like are they card shows or are they like events? I haven't really looked into it as much. I know it's supposed to be like an events thing. I just assumed it was a rave where Luke would be there. That's what I assumed at first. So like I thought it was gonna be a lot of EDM music and Luke just. Like, I thought that's what we were getting. I assumed that's what we were getting, and I was excited for the content right there. That was going to be amazing. But they do have something. They've got some kind of a Fanatics event thing. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I just read about it today, but I think it's awesome. I'd love seeing the Fanatics live, the clips that they were doing this weekend at the All-Star game. I thought it was great. From having the athletes up there, they're opening cards, they're looking at it, they're remembering it, they're asking guys, "Do you collect?" And it was funny. Freddie Freeman, I think he goes, "Yeah, my son does, but I don't." But most of the guys are collectors, and the more you get that out there, like everywhere you looked, you've seen tops. It was awesome. So anyone that thinks that Fanatics is coming in, regardless of, they're just getting more eyeballs on the hobby, which is a good thing, in my opinion.
I'm just scanning here just so that I have a little bit of info because, like I said, I got very high level stuff. Apparently, set to launch in first gatherings in 2024, Fanatics events will create and operate fan festivals that will include appearances by athletes. They'll likely have a card show element, according to Yahoo Sports. So, like a fan-centric, like fan festival deal. So, all right, that could work. Rod says somebody needs a charge mat. There you go. Think about it, Kevin. James says Luke and light sticks. That's a picture. I know. That's what I'm saying. It'd be amazing. This is what we need to 10x the hobby, y'all. This is what we need. The people want this. I'm telling you right now.
A charge mat wouldn't work because then I can't have my phone in my hand the whole day.
We could literally wrap you in a charge mat. We could get a gigantic charge mat, and literally as you're holding it, it's charging. We can wrap you like a blanket.
That'd probably help. Or like something
or
charged
external battery.
Or just what?
External battery.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I don't want to interrogate you too much on this show, but I have quite, like I said, as someone who's had an iPhone the last couple of iterations, are you like playing video nonstop? Like, what are you actually using on the phone?
No, well, I mean, okay, so I live stream my son's camera when he's napping.
Okay.
So that probably
the whole day, or do you do it for like a chunk of time?
I would love for him to sleep the whole day, but that's never happened. No, just like I don't know. I operate my business off of Facebook. So
do you keep a bunch of apps open the whole day?
I never close apps.
So
you never know when you need them.
But here's the thing. Carlos Sr. does this too, and then he wonders why the battery drains. And what I do is I just close a bunch of his apps that he's literally not using, and suddenly the battery life improves. There's no magic to it. It's like, well, guys, it's a little computer. If you're running a bunch of stuff in the background, it's draining battery.
Well, and to be fair, I didn't set anything up with it yet, so I probably have to go in and like fine tune all the settings and stuff. Like I had like the always on display on, so that probably didn't help. And
Kevin, you're supposed to be the youth. I'm the old man right now talking about the technology. Back in my day.
Honestly, I was telling Brad this. I can't stand technology. I have a brand new laptop for the last 6 weeks that is sitting on my counter that I haven't opened because I don't want to have to deal with like re-downloading Excel and signing in all of my stuff. So it's just sitting on my counter unopened. Like,
I see.
But if you had an Apple computer, it would have just been in the cloud, and all you have to do is log in.
Yeah, I get it. Okay, I get it. Yeah.
It's all integrated. Think about it. Listen, I'm not saying this because I'm angling for that Apple sponsorship, but I'm saying I would definitely take it.
I was helping you, Carlos.
Thank you, Luke. I appreciate your consideration. I thank you for your help in this very important situation here for me. James says, get him a tinfoil hat and he could be discable. I know. I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited about the possibility. I like I said, between Disco Rave Luke and Kevin dressed up as a disco ball in tinfoil, I'm liking where this is going. This is gonna be the most exciting national of all time, Brad. I am thrilled and excited, and we haven't even gotten there yet. This is fantastic.
Brad, are you drinking a Happy Pop?
Pop Shop. Brings
I
back
thought that-
memories.
I thought that was a Yoo-hoo.
Nope. This is Lime Ricky, Pop Shop Pop. It's awesome. I got a little bit of a sore throat, so this is really hitting the spot.
All right. So fine. So you're gonna attend the trade night, which is great. We're gonna have Luke at the rave. That's gonna be awesome. So we got that going for us. Any other events or anything? Because there's a lot of events. Like there's a lot of secondary events. Brad, I'm surprised. Are you going to the creator event? There's like a thing. Filmington has one, and then there's another one that's run by like Mike Baseball Collector and those guys. They do in the hotel as well.
Yes, I'm definitely going to that. So I'm going to Andy. I told Andy I definitely would pop over. I met him at the last national just briefly, and I'd like to get to know him a little bit better. Yes, I'm going to that for sure. And then I'm just going to wing it. Like the trade night that Card Collector 2 does is the biggest one. I'm assuming that one's still on, which was awesome last time. Kevin, we went like in Atlantic City, and that was probably my funnest part of the whole show. I met a lot of guys. That's where I first met Baubles in person, and Dustin and Neo, and all the guys who knew. I had a great night that night. It was awesome. So I kind of want to prepare myself a little bit better this time as well. We're staying at it's literally a 5-minute walk across. So that's going to make it a lot easier because once you get to the show, if I want to come back in the afternoon just to take a little bit of a break. So when you go from, 8 in the morning until midnight for 5 or 6 straight nights, that's takes its toll on you. So
what
my
is this
afternoon
8 in the morning?
I know. That's
not-
me. That's me.
Kevin, what is
the show opens at 10 and Brad's like, all right, see you tomorrow at 8. And I'm like, what do you mean?
It's more of like I'll see you at 7 or 7:30 for breakfast, and then we'll go to the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what made our card show experience when Brad challenged me. I was like, ha! I will
And then
beat you
Sherry
to
rolls into
Brad
the
Harlan.
show.
I will beat
And
you
then
to breakfast,
Sherry rolls
Harlan.
in at 11. So
Oh yeah.
For breakfast, I will make exceptions, Harlan. But just in general, mornings do not exist. That's not even a
weird, though.
thing.
It's amazing how many people are on different levels. Like I know Kevin's a night guy. I'd be a morning guy. If I could start my day at 4 in the morning.
not anymore.
Every day, I'd love to rock and roll. Right. Well, you used to be like some people. I'd sooner go to bed early, and it's just you get so much more work done. It's peaceful. Like my phone isn't blowing up from 5 a.m. till 9 p.m. It's like this nice lull time where you can get so much work done. Then from 9 p.m. until 7 p.m. it's useless.
There you go. Bobby says, Kevin, you can't be a millennial. I don't think he is. What's the cutoff of millennial now?
I'm a 93.
I feel like that's past the millennial thing. I'm not sure.
I think
Mind you, I don't know.
I'm a millennial. I'm like the tail end of the millennial. I think it ended in 95.
Gen Z?
So,
I'm not
No,
Gen Z. Well, slow down.
I don't have a clue. I don't know. I don't know any of that.
I've lost track of exactly how long they put between those different periods. I know that under the old definition, I'm like in the OG millennial class, like in the first
Me and
couple
Luke
of
are the
years.
same generation. Like we're
No,
It's obvious to me.
Yeah,
Like, I just assumed.
we're buddies. Like we're the same generation.
we are in that sense, but not the age-wise.
Luke, that was very fat. Brad, that was very defensively fat. Luke was like, boom, lightning, boom. He's like, I am shutting this down right now.
I don't want to be a millennial.
I don't know what to tell you, Luke. It's not so bad. I've enjoyed it. It's been fine by me. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, man. But I just don't know what the separation is in the different categories they put in them. But so I just know that I'm in that whatever they came up with. I am in that beginning first couple of years of that one. But
Right.
what I think that go ahead.
Sorry, millennials in the dictionary. I
Yeah.
don't know which dictionary, but it says
Okay.
related or to denoting people born between the early 1980s and the late 1990s.
Okay, that's pretty broad. That's pretty.
When were
long.
you born, Luke?
Before then,
Damn.
Me too.
So Luke is basically so that goes. So what was the one right before that? It was X.
The boomers.
No, not quite that. Not. I think there's a couple in between there. Couple in between there.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know.
Between the ladies, they're ladies. Thank you, Bobby.
What about so I watched the beginning part of your video to talk a little bit about it, but
Gen X. I thought so. Gen X. Thank you.
PSA has announced their pricing. We're very clear with that.
Mm-hmm.
Luke told me tonight too. I didn't even see that Nat Turner put out a tweet that if for free crossovers. Did you see this, Kevin?
No.
Yeah. So if you have a high value card, we don't know what that is. It just says in the thing high value, that PSA will review that card to cross it over for no charge. If it does cross, then you pay. So I guess he's been getting quite the response to it. So
I'm bringing BGS 8.5s with a min grade 10. Let's do this.
But I kind of have a feeling it's going to be 100K or it's going to be like premium 1 and above or something.
I have a friend who has a Giannis 9.5 that's like 1 of 5, and he might take that up.
No, because if you look at the comments or whatever, there's actually a couple of cards that were like maybe $1,000 or whatever, things like that, and he said they qualified.
He really but that would be insane. They're going to get 10,000 cards. They'd never be able to do it.
And that's just from you, Brad. That's just from you tailing him with 10,000 cards. It's gonna be awkward.
Like
maybe that's the incentive.
But you have to go and message Nat before, and he's got to say okay, and then you can go there. I don't know. That's what he said.
Maybe I'll message Nat and be like, "Hey, can I buy a bunch of BGS 9.5s and cross trade them when I get there?"
There's going to have to be some more clarity come out on this. This is going to be.
Look, I just think that's a dangerous precedent that set. I think that a lot of people are like, that sounds like a challenge, Nat. That sounds like a challenge.
The president is like, "What are you doing? Why are you posting?"
Okay, hold on. So he had another tweet. I think it came out today, but it said that it's got to be 25K plus.
Okay, perfect. Makes sense.
Yeah.
There you go. I thought. Look, I thought the tweet was going to be new phone who dis. Ignore that. I was hacked. Never mind. Forget the other person who's not me wrote anything. Never mind. So Nova Grower here says, "Hey Brad, you're in the shop the next couple of days. I got an upper deck redemption of a piece of glass from the Lake Tahoe outdoor game today. You got to see this ridiculous thing. Fattest card I've ever seen."
Honestly, yeah, I will be out there for sure at some point, probably Saturday morning. But in saying that, I got my redemption back too from Upper Deck for a piece of the glass. It is the thickest card.
Really? Eh? Okay.
Actually, you know what? I was going to keep it, and then it's going to go up on eBay. Starts on Sunday. I will mention that as well. So AMG has a lot of things on eBay right now that are ending on Sunday night. Probably it's part of eBay's summer promotion. They did a big auction. I don't know if Kevin, if you put anything in that.
No, they called me once a week, and I still didn't have the time to put one eBay listing together.
Yeah. And for the last time, Brad, I'm only doing the watch party after we negotiate all of my retainer. Like the whole thing. I will only do the live watch party under the right circumstances. I have terms. I
like it. So Luke, I need you to you probably know some guys, especially in the Edmonton area, but we have 4 Gretzky long hair red roosters graded by PSA that are up there. It's a no reserve auction. I think they're all at around $500 each, but one's a PSA 9. I think 2 are PSA 8s and one's a 7. But the 9's the only 9. And it's the highest graded of one of them. So that should be interesting. So if you know,
I bet you I know who's going to bid on that.
Yeah, it's the highest one. So all we need is a big Gretzky fan. So
there you go. I like it. James says he's been watching some of them. Good stuff.
Thank you. I
appreciate Bobby is a baby boomer. That is true. That I do.
I'm a baby boomer as well, right? 76.
Yeah. Well, I think doesn't that go into Gen X? I'm pretty sure that Gen X is right before the millennial one. The very one directly before that is Gen X. And don't forget, you got a bit of a gap.
One of them was a really short period. I don't know which one.
I think Gen X. I think that's if you're talking 76, Brad, that still falls under Gen X. I'm pretty sure.
Gen X.
Yeah, yeah. Because there's a little bit of time group there in Gen X that one qualifies for.
Gotcha.
So it's now one thing I was going to say. The point that I was going to make earlier is that because there is that like 15-year period with all those ones. I think if you're either at the front end or the back end of it, you're kind of in that weird little middle ground. Because I laugh because a lot of people talk about all these different generations. It's like, guys, it's not like say for the sake of argument, millennial starts at 1980, just for the hell of it. It's not like you're born in December of 79. You're totally different than somebody born in January 1980. It's not like a hard cutoff. You're probably going to have a little bit of traits, if you will, that kind of toe the line between the two
I feel
generations.
like you'd have more traits between the two generations than someone from 1980 versus someone from 97.
100%. That's what I'm saying. If you're
Yeah.
right on that cutoff, if you're right in that, because I was born in '83, and the thing is, I'm a lot closer to the Gen X side of that dividing line than the other side of the exact same generation. It's like, yeah, I fall right in that line, but like right at the beginning of that line. That's why I think it's kind of funny we play this way. It's like, dude, it's not a hard cutoff. That's not how that works. It's like, well, you're just completely different. It's like, no, that's not how that works. Steve Stevenson says here, "Hey Brad, was in yesterday at AMG. Sold a few slabs. Your staff was great to deal with. Just wanted to give them their props. Good stuff. Thank you, Tim."
All right, appreciate that. That means a lot.
Well
Bobby
done,
says Baby
Steve.
Boomer ends in December '64 is Baby Boomer. Fair enough. Thank you, Bobby. Does that make sense? All right. So, any kind of last thoughts or anything that anybody wants to go? Any last questions that they want to throw out there? Like I said, we'll keep it right around an hour. Like I said, we will be back at some point. Follow the social medias if you haven't, because that's where you get a little bit more information. We want to be able to reveal a little more, but the problem is our hands are a little bit tied because it's not completely in our hands when we can do that. The hope is though, Brad and I are going to stay in communication. Brad, you'll still see Brad on the Friday show. We'll still be around, and like I said, the plan is to have a show going forward. What that's going to look like, where it's going to be, what it's going to sound like, that's the part that we need to figure out, because once we have the answer to A, then B becomes a lot more obvious. Then we can say, hey guys, this is where it's going to be, this is when it's going to be, this is what it's going to do. And Luke will come in, with the glow sticks, and the rave will begin. It'll be fantastic.
And if all else fails, we'll start Kevin's Corner.
Kevin's Corner, I like.
I'll have a Friday show that intersects with Carlos.
The problem is, I would love it, because then I would literally just put you on the side and make fun of it while you do it.
Oh yeah,
I would literally just simulcast it.
And the fact that I just talked about how much I hate technology, no chance, no shot.
It's like, what
I
happens?
want to get?
Go ahead, Luke.
I was going to say, you know what I want to get to the national is one of those panini packs. That's one of my goals.
Right.
Those are easy.
I don't know how to get them. I don't know. I've seen people like open them up last year or whatever.
Come
Not
with
the
me.
good-
I'll hook you up.
How do you get them? The good ones.
Which good ones?
I don't know. Like
There's good ones in the
there's
the
two
gold
types,
ones
right?
are
The silver
Yeah.
packs or the gold ones?
I'm going to go that gold.
The ones that have the cheese string?
Yeah.
I don't know about the gold ones. I think the gold one, but I know the silver ones. Like, the vendors get them based on how much they've spent with Panini.
Well, I don't know. I just seen people open them last year or whatever. I just want to open some.
Yeah, I was with the people that that open them.
What if they force you to make a devil's bargain, Luke? They're like, we will give you these silver packs if you open that cup tin.
Oh, my gold string. I couldn't find it.
Open it. Here are the silver packs.
I'll open those online.
There you go. Open those online.
Anything
Nice.
free, I'll open for sure.
Oh, look at you. Your generosity knows no bounds, Luke. Your generosity knows no bounds.
I'm trying to think. I don't think I got anything free at the National.
No, but you spent a lot of money.
But I don't think I got anything free. Like I
No,
honestly,
I mean,
like I look around.
you get
I mean,
invited to everything. Remember when there was like a 2.5-hour lineup to get into the trade night, and we just walked in?
we just snuck in per se. Like we pretended like we were someone important, and we just walked in. And then we said, did this actually just happen? They're like, what are
No
you
one
guys doing
questioned
here?
us.
We're supposed to be here. Okay.
Yeah, our corporate pass did
You're
well.
going to see this year, Brad's going to be like, well, the front door is out, so we're going to have to rappel.
Yeah.
It's like, Kevin, so you make sure you get the rope, and it's like, we're going to have to rappel down. It's going to be Mission
Yeah,
Impossible
great.
style.
Great.
All right, guys, I gotta head out, so I'm gonna let you go. We'll chat
Take
later.
it easy, Kevin. Have
See
a
you,
good one.
Kev.
My first national, is with security has pictures of Brad and Kevin already. Great.
Yeah, we'll be barred.
We got Luke. This is going to be very, like I said, the advantage of it is that I'm at a safe distance, so whatever happens, I am not involved in any way, shape, or form. But I will report on it. Don't think for 1 second I will not report on it. We got questions.
Oh, I'm definitely going to get. I'm going to get you some good content, Carlos. That's my mission. We are
There you go.
Luke. We can do this together. We can get some good content.
Absolutely. In my backpack, I'm gonna have a few cards, a pair of sandals, and that's it.
Yeah, I know.
And I'll be able to put my free stuff inside there, and then go back to the hotel and drop it off, and then come back, and then I can switch my shoes whenever I want. That's my plan.
I'm telling you, I don't think I got. I love free stuff. Like I absolutely love free stuff, but I don't think I ever get any free stuff. Every time there's free stuff somewhere, there's a lineup of like 1,000 people, and I'm like, well, I'm not waiting for 1,000 people to get free stuff.
You got to play the Brad Harlan card. They go, I'm Brad Harlan. Praise me.
You're gonna be walking around with an Asian, so don't worry.
Wow.
We'll get some free stuff.
Listen, I've gotten discounts at card shows because I know Luke.
There
These
you
are
go.
facts.
I like it.
These are facts. Like Luke has a little bit of sway, Brad. You might want to take advantage of some of Luke. Luke's got some stroke around that place. You might want to take advantage of it. That might be the key to opening doors. You know, velvet ropes part, champagne falls from the heavens, and that's just a Wednesday. Imagine by the towards the end of the week, it's crazy. Light stakes, don't forget those. Exactly, James. Exactly. So quick question. Anybody in the chat? Is anybody else in the chat going to national? I'm just curious. Just kind of an open question. I'm just curious if any of the rest of you are going to head down that way. I basically got, I am predisposed and it would be unwise for me to trek down that way. I know Bobby's not heading down that way, but I'm curious if anybody else in the chat is heading down that way. It'll be interesting. We'll see. Apparently they've opened it up. I think they put an extra 200,000 square feet. Probably a lot of corporate stuff is going to fit into that space, but nonetheless, expand the room, makes it bigger.
No, it does, and I'm wondering to see all the dynamics. Like, there's a lot of stuff has happened since the last national in the space. Mm-hmm. There's just is the Panini booth going to be close to the Topps booth? Like, is Sports Card Investor going to be close with Card Ladder guys? Like, how are they going to set all this stuff up? And I didn't even look at the floor plan yet, but I think it'll be good to see PWCC and Golden. Like, what's happening at PWCC lately? I've been hearing some different rumors and stories. We all know they got bought, obviously, by Fanatics. Yeah. But from an operation standpoint, we've seen some employees leave. Are the previous owners still involved in the company? I'm waiting for a video to hear all of this stuff. I'm excited to see.
I think that part will be interesting. We'll have to see what comes out of that. That's why I say, like, once we wind into this time, see whether you're there or not. Like I said, for me, I get to kind of watch it from the outside, and then as we go, more stuff. That's why I say, like, right now we've gotten the unofficial start to the national season, if you will, because I said PSA came out with their pricing, CGC came out with their pricing. I expect SGC will do the same, Beckett will do the same, the other ones will do very similar. If any of the manufacturers have any special plans for packs or whatever, giveaways or whatever, we're going to hear about it over the next couple of weeks leading in. And then obviously once the show is underway, then, it's open season. If anybody wants to announce anything or say anything or anything special happen, what it's going to be, who wants to say what, no idea. If we've learned nothing, we learned that Beckett likes to make a splash.
I know, and there's been nothing from Beckett, right?
right now, that's probably wise. And Beckett gave themselves an NDA. They're like, we are saying nothing about our own stuff. We're saying nothing.
But CSG is 20 card max value $1,000, $20 get back by end of show.
Okay, so
right?
so the CGC is $20. Yeah, if you don't have a membership, it's $20.
Yeah,
it can be one card. This is on-site grading. That is their on-site grading price by the end of show. If you have one of the memberships, you can get either 10% off or 20% off. So you could get it as cheap as $16 per card by the end of show, obviously while supplies last, which is that's a very strong competitive offer for on-site grading. If you want 24 hours, that's $55 before you apply the discounts. And if you want 3 hours, I think it's $155 or something like that, which is, again, you could get up to 20% off of that. So for 3 hour turnaround, if they can do it, that's not terrible. It's competitive. It's a strong offer.
That's making a big splash. Like, I mean, that's a really, geez, what even like our at the expo now with some of the other grading companies that are here, all 30, 40, $50 a card, I think. I think maybe
KSA
even-
was let's put it this way for comparison. Like if we're
Yeah.
being we're being sincere, and we're gonna go
Yeah.
out on a bang here. We're gonna do the PSA Canada show. We talk about the other one because like it's a full industry. There's more to the industry than PSA. We'll happily talk about PSA, but there's plenty of stuff going on. KSA wanted $50 a card. CGC, which is a legit player in the space, they're offering $20 on-site grading without a
Yeah.
membership, without any special discounts. Like to me, that's a very strong competitive offering and kind of sends a message. PSA has the ability in the space to command the price they want. The price they've asked for is not ridiculous. They're still going to sell out. Like they're going to have a line. They're going to have the whole thing. But if
Yeah.
you're trying to make a splash in the space and trying to get people to pay attention to you, saying $20 without any discounts, you can come right up to the booth and get, by the end of the show, $20. That is a strong competitive offering.
Absolutely.
I'm doing
I
so.
agree. Yeah.
I'm going to do 6 there, I think.
Yeah, like that's a lot. Like I mean, it's an incredible deal. What's the guy's name? That's the head sports grader at.
I think it's Andy Broom.
Andy Broom. I have to say, again, always being completely transparent. I watched his thing at Mint Collective. He did a hour presentation on grading. It was so interesting, and I talked to him afterwards. I just went and said thanks for that. Like I learned a lot of stuff. It was just really well. He is just a good guy. You know, never met him before. We talked for 15 minutes, and yeah, huge, very big fan of his. Maybe we can get him back. Maybe I'll go back and work at PSA someday. So.
There you go. Yeah. So James says, I know I'll get to your question, your second, Joel, in a second. This is a serious look at me, no doubt. Yeah. I was to say, like, if you want our attention, like, look, when you said $20, you've got our attention.
Yeah.
If nothing else, you can dismiss it, but I wouldn't ignore it. And one important caveat I'll make, and it plays to Canada Blue's comment here in a second. ROI is important for resale. Yes. But here's the thing. If I'm a collector, I like the holder. And $20 is very reasonable. $20, like I can literally walk in the door. If I'm not going to be at the show the whole week, and I walk in on Wednesday, and I can hand you a small stack of cards, and for $20 a card, I can come back before the end of the show and get my cards back in my hands. That is a very strong offering for somebody if you're talking about from a collecting side of things. And again, if you have the membership thing, you could get it as cheap as $16. That's pretty strong. Like that's sub $20 for on-site grading. $16 would be strong for a regular submission right now. When
I have a membership, so.
there you go. But my point though is when the grading specials are, when we say $15 and it's a good grading special right now for any of the big players, $16 in the door and back into your hands without having to mail anything. Again, if you're talking strictly a collector, that seems good.
Yeah. What is SGC doing? Have
Don't
they
know yet.
announced?
Haven't announced it yet. That'll be the next shoe to drop. I'm waiting for them. That'll be the next shoe to drop, and I'm curious what now. What the funny thing is by CGC doing this, now I wonder if SGC is sitting back going, uh-oh. We knew what PSA was going to do. They probably had a pretty good idea what the ballpark was going to be, but CGC just came out and laid the gauntlet down. Like if you're Beckett or if you're Beckett or SGC, what do you do to? Because all of a sudden, if you're not careful, your offering is going to look like a bad deal in comparison to it. Again, ROI is super important, yes, but again, there's a lot of cards that this sub $20 is very competitive for a lot of cards that somebody might just want for the collection, or even for resale.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah. So like, there, I could see a use case for that at sub $20, no doubt.
Yeah. No, definitely.
So Staggy Joe had a question here. I haven't heard much about this set before. Was Be a Player Upper Deck back like 10 or 15 years ago a decent set? There were some good Be a Player Upper Deck ones. I'm assuming you mean the autograph one? Like the NHLPA? Because that was more than 15, 20 years back. I don't know which one you're referring to, though. That's what I'd be curious about.
I remember when
It
they came
depends.
out. Yeah, in 94, 95, the first 90.
Yeah, it was in the early
94,
90s. The first one was early 90s.
Yeah, I remember when they first came out. I loved it. I thought that was the coolest thing. Autograph cards like in that set. Now I don't really care for them as much because I've kind of, from a personal side, I really like having the official jerseys on players on cards that I collect personally. It's my new thing. No sticker autographs, and I like to have the professional jersey on.
Okay, so Staggy Joe is saying 0809.
Yeah.
Around that time period, I'm trying to think what that one looked like. It's been a while, but the Be a Player ones generally are all right. 0809 though, Be a Player. Just trying to think. I remember 98, 99 very well. That one was 10 years before that. Those were nice. I like those. 08, 09. Were they still doing the Be a Player sets by 08, 09? That way? Maybe.
Yeah, I can't remember. Did I show you guys that already? My Victoria Beckham PSA 10.
Okay. What set
Pop.
is that from?
It's the sticker set from Europe. So it's
The
Smash
Panini
Hits
thing.
collection. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yes.
All right.
Pop one.
Wow, look at you.
That's cool.
Yeah. For
James
sale
says you
if
do-
anyone's interested or trade.
There you go. James says you do comics, Luke?
I do, yeah.
Any in particular you like?
No, mostly the 90s stuff.
Will CGC be taking comic submissions dropped off at the National, Luke? Do you know?
I don't know if they probably will, but I think
I think they would do drop off. Obviously, since it's a card show, they wouldn't. But obviously, since they're a unified brand, maybe.
I should look into that. I probably got like 20 or 30 here.
Yeah. And well, actually, one other thing I would add as well, and it was a smart move on their part. Even though it is the sports collectibles convention and everything, the fact that it is now the unified banner, you can drop off your Marvel cards and whatever, and that applies to it too. So like, and you could literally do an order that mixes them. You could have some sports cards, you could have some Marvel cards, TCG, whatever, and hand them over to the same people and have them grade the cards, and there you go. You get back cards that are in a consistent label with the consistent holders. So again, I'm not. My job isn't to sell you on it. I'm merely pointing out objectively, as a consumer, that is a very attractive price point and a very strong message they're sending to the market. And now I'll be curious to see how people respond to it, because I go, if I was in the room, like, that seems again, even if you don't want to wait till the end of the show, the $55 when you tack on the discounts, that's a very strong thing within 24 hours. So you can have it back the next day. So depending on what your card is, that seems good. That's just my thought on it. 0809, Malkin and Fleury, dual signatures auto. I wonder if you're thinking SP Authentic, because I'm trying to think if Upper Deck Be a Player was gone by then. I don't think Be a Player was still around. I know there was some SP Authentic stuff. That's what my thought.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Because I remember a card like that, but I don't remember that one specifically.
I feel like Dougie's going. Yeah, I do remember them actually coming out. Dougie will know this. That's right, Dougie's wheelhouse too.
All right, seems fair. All right, folks. So last comments here. We'll start winding her down a little bit. We did get a chance. I wanted to chat a little bit about the national, obviously, since it's coming up, and we won't be back before that. Whenever we do come back, it'll be after the fact. Otherwise, you can kind of check out. You'll see Brad sporadically on the Friday show. So it's Because I'm Carlos. If you want to check out over there, we have a little bit of fun on Friday. On Friday, we open it up a little bit, and we let people go crazy. We let Luke have as many raves as he wants. He's not on there, but if he was, we'd let him have as many raves as he wants, because you can't contain that man. Don't hold him down. Let him be himself.
I remember that. Was out in 09. It's a sideways card. I can picture it now with a white, like, I think the autograph's in a white symbol and it's horizontal.
Now I gotta go to eBay here. No, because I don't remember it. I remember a lot of sets at that time. Be a Player. 0809, Be a Player.
And I always say on the Friday night show, make sure everyone goes over. And if I'm not in there, I'm usually in the chat or I'm listening. And sometimes I just don't, I'm exhausted by Friday night and hang out in the chat, listen to Hockey 99.
There you go. Oh, I remember this. These are like the sticker autos? Yeah, okay.
Right, sideways, kind of not. I didn't know there was a Malcolm Fleury. That's pretty cool, though.
So let me just see if I can see the Fleury. See if I can find it. Yeah, there's a base one. Okay, and I see the 2-player one. Okay, so it's probably something like this. I'll share. Let me see if I can show the picture. So something in the vein of this thing here. Yeah, okay. So something like that. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Okay, that was kind of a bit of a dead zone for me. I remember some of the products for that time period, but I got you. Thank you, Doug. Appreciate that. There are blue card small pictures. Yep, so we were able to show that, so it is the right one. Mine is a Beckett graded 9 with only one graded with them. Fair enough. Sounds good. I had a Mullet and Fleury dual ice auto in the 80s. Look at you. Look at you. There you go. Perfect. All right, we nailed it. Good stuff. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate that. All right, folks. So as promised, like I said, we will be back at some point. I do follow the PSA Canada. If you follow the PSA Canada Instagram or you can check out on the website as well. See if I can find the little here. I'll put a little across. If you follow that on IG, then you'll know when we come back, because the next time we do one of these shows, we'll have answers. We'll actually be able to tell you exactly what it's going to be, because then we'll know. We'll know exactly what we're going to do and where it's going to be and how it's going to go down, and we'll be able to fill in those blanks so that everybody knows what's going on.
Awesome.
Sounds good. Thank you all. Thank you everybody on the chat. Appreciate you. And like I said, we will be back at some point. If you want to get your fix, you can always come over to the Friday show. And when Brad is not too exhausted, when we pump him full of some adrenaline, he'll be able to come on and share some stuff. Or we'll have a little fun and share some stories.
It's an awesome time.
Good stuff. Outside of that, if you can hit the like button on the way out, we are charging Eric. And since it'll be a break before we get a chance to do this one, I am charging him 55x. In honor of the mid-tier of the CGC grading, I'm charging 55 times the normal like button rate. 55 times. Very exciting.
You know what? I just seen Yannick still in the chat, so I just wanted to say one last thing before we go. My gift from Yannick Manoa is back, baby. He's back. So you guys are. And thank you again, Yannick, for the card he gave me a long time ago, and I truly appreciate it.
And I sent Brad the exact meme of like exactly the pep talk he gave Alex Miller, because you have failed me for the last time. If any of you know the Darth Vader meme, you have failed me. That was Brad. Don't let nice guy Brad fool you. He was like to Manoa, like, I swear, if you fail me, I will find you. I will. You figure it out, man. You figure it out.
Maybe my Manoa card now will go up in value.
I know, boy. I love it.
So Luke, you encourage him with the Alec Manoa thing, but not one Jason Robertson from the entire run of the show.
I bought this one from AMG.
I
It's
know.
like $50
Well,
discount
so-
from eBay.
Nova Scotia influencer Brad Harlan is out there pumping, driving the Manoa freight train over there, selling it to anybody who will listen, and not a single Jason Robertson after your recommendation. Not one.
It was just a recommendation. That's all it was.
Wow. Courage of his conviction, man. Courage of his convictions, Brad. Good Lord.
So I can't. So what? In order for me to be what is it, like a pumper or pump and dump or whatever? I forget how they all say that, but if I'm allowed to promote Manoa because I don't sell them, correct? So
It just means you're really bad at it, Brad. It just means you're really bad. You forgot the second half of the equation. You're supposed to get rid of you're not just supposed to sell it to Luke. You're supposed to sell it to other people.
Okay, got it. Well, I can tell you, I will pump Tom Brady. We've talked about this. If these rumors that are circulating about Mr. Brady, I will be very, very disappointed in him, and he's going to lose a lot of status with me if this is all true.
I'm hoping for this so hard, Luke. This is all I want. The Tom Brady, Kim Kardashian crossover, that's what the people need. Because I want to hear Brad Harlan denounce his boy, Tom Brady. That's all I want.
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
Are you going to legally change Brady's name then?
no,
Listen,
Brady's staying. My dog Brady, so he's staying. We can't change his name.
You can make it Brady. You can make it Brady hyphen Kardashian. Like, it'd be very exciting. I think we'd all appreciate it. We'd enjoy it. Just
I can't
letting you know,
remember.
man.
There was one celebrity or someone very famous out there said, he goes, how did he? It was he or she. I can't remember who it was. Said it's okay. They're allowed to go to a motel for a night. That's okay. But actually dating, you can't do that, Tom. You can't do that. So.
Oh, I think Tom, don't listen to them. Do not let them tell you you are Tom Brady. Some people think you're the GOAT, not me. People without sense. But you do whatever you want. I encourage you. I co-sign on this. That's what the people need. That's what the people want. Let's go. Sorry, Rod. Rod, listen, I'm trying to be supportive. Brad over here is a supposed fan. He's not being supportive at all. I am trying to be super supportive. I have never been more supportive of anything in my life. Super supportive. More to come on the Friday shows. If this story develops, there'll be more said on this matter. I assure you. Brad knows this. From space, he'll know it.
I love it.
All right, folks. So just to be clear, we will come back for an episode for sure. When that is going to be, we'll figure it out. I don't know yet. But it has been a pleasure. We've had a lot of fun with these episodes. I think we've had almost 40 of them. So it's actually been really good. We've had a lot of fun building something here. We'd like to see it go forward, but there will be a show in some capacity. What it's going to look like, how it's going to sound like, and where it's going to be is something to be determined, TBD. But we will come back to you and let you know. So We haven't abandoned anything here, but it's just a matter of us figuring out what the next steps are to get it where it needs to be and where it needs to go. So there you go. I'll leave you with
Love
that. Otherwise, have yourselves a great night, and we'll talk to you again when we talk to you.
Thanks, everyone.